di sini ya, karena kelihatan kamera. Pak Dirjen kan masuknya 8.15. Dapat Pak Jalan di situ aja. 8.15. Ya. Terus kalau pembukaan 7.55, pembukaan lagu Indonesia Raya, sambutan dekan, sambutan Pak Rektor, 20 menit cukup dah. Siap. Berarti 7.55 kita mulai. Siap. Ya.
Sambil menunggu Pak
Dirjen masuk. Ya. Update-nya 8.15. Ya. 8.15. Ya.
Lajeng, pemutaran untuk itu ada tanya jawab bukan dengan Pak
Dirjen? Mungkin sekitar 5 menit terakhir, Pak.
Itu diakomodasi oleh moderator?
Diakomodasi.
Moderatornya siapa?
Diakomodasi oleh MC.
Oh, ini berarti oleh MC ya. Baru nanti yang pleno oleh moderator.
Iya.
Moderator itu sudah tahu.
Moderator Yuyun Julia, BSD. Ya, moderator bidang kerjasama dan kolaborasi UST.
Bidang kerjasama dan
bidang kerjasama ya. Ya, bidang kerjasama Pak tempat.
Oh, ada tempat.
Ya.
UST.
Ya. 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 Jadi yang moderator itu nanti ya untuk
sesi pleno. Untuk yang ini saya yang akomodasi. Ini kan Sias berduet dengan Mas Aryo.
Iya.
Untuk pertanyaan ada sesi pengambilan foto betul untuk presensi.
Ya, untuk Pak Dirjen nanti terakhir suruh buka semua terus foto, kata dia.
Oh,
jadi sebelum Pak Dirjen lah.
Tapi banyak sekali loh Pak.
Apakah di awal sebelum acara?
Sebelum acara.
Sebelum acara, ini dalam rangka presensi toh?
Betul, presensi ada lagi.
Oh.
Bukti ya, bukti.
Oh, berarti akan di awal atau setelah Pak Dirjen?
Di akhir aja ya, setelah Pak Dirjen.
Setelah Pak Dirjen?
Iya, gitu ya.
Ini teksnya sudah ada yang
masih ada yang salah beri namanya Pak.
Iya.
Katanya langsung ada. Kalau itu nggak usah disebutkan. Nanti ganti-gantian sama saya. Pakai ini tuh. Terus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the conference is about to commence in a few moments. But before we start, let me announce some important information. First of all, to help us recognize you easily, would you please put your name on the screen? Also, please make sure that you activate your video later during the photo session in the middle and end of today's conference. In addition, to ensure that the conference will run well, if not necessary, for example, when you are invited to ask questions or to respond to certain questions by the speaker or moderator, would you please make sure that your microphone is off? Further information about how your participation in the presentation sessions, including asking questions, will be shared by the moderator. Honorable Acting Rector of Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Director General of Vocational School Education of the Ministry of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia, Honorable the invited speakers, Vice Rector for General and Financial Affairs, Vice Rector for Planning and Cooperation Affairs, Vice Rector for Student Affairs and Alumni, Heads of Bureaus, Director of Graduate School, Deans of all faculties, Heads of Institutes, Vice Deans of Engineering Faculty, Heads of Departments and Study Programs, all distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon you all and good morning. Our deepest gratitudes and praises are for God the Almighty and the Most Merciful for the blessings He has given to us. Let me extend also our warmest welcome to the opening ceremony of the International Joint Conferences on Engineering, Technology, and Vocational Education today, October the 5th, 2020. 5 international conference events are held together. The first is the 6th International Conference on Technology and Vocational Teachers, the 3rd International Conference on Electrical, Electronics, Informatics, and Vocational Education, the 3rd International Conference on Vocational Education of Mechanical and Automotive Technology, and the 3rd International Conference on Sustainable Infrastructure.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now a quick word about this morning conference opening ceremony. We shall begin with the national anthem Indonesia Raya. The next item is the welcoming remark by the conference committee chair. Finally, acting rector of Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta will be delivering his opening speech afterwards. It will be followed by the sessions for keynote speakers and the invited speakers.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now please be silent and bow our heads for a moment to say a prayer. Let's say our prayer, shall we? Thank you.
The national anthem Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like kindly to rise?
Indonesia tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Sanalah aku berdiri jadi pandu ibu. Indonesia dan tanah airku, marilah kita.
Now please be seated.
Now we are going to listen to the welcoming remark from the conference committee chair. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering of Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Professor Herman Dwi Suryono, MSc, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
May peace and cooperation be upon all us. The Honorable Director General of Vocational Education, the Honorable Rector of Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, the invited speakers, all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's thank God, the Almighty and the most merciful, who has been giving us His mercy and blessing so we can meet online here at this virtual conference. Allow me to extend our warmest greetings and welcome to all guest speakers, speakers of the parallel session, and all participants of the International Joint Conferences on Engineering, Technology, and Vocational Education organized by the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Raising the theme of technology enhancement to support vocational competence and freedom to learn, the Joint Conference explores advances in new technologies that facilitate new generation to have the freedom to learn in the digital transformation era. The new technologies and scientific breakthroughs are relentless and are unfolding on many fronts. It creates new opportunities for human beings to have completely new experiences of living, including transforming the way we teach and learn. This conference received about 462 papers, which are distributed into 4 sections, including First, International Conference on Technology and Vocational Teachers received 140 papers. Second, International Conference on Sustainable Infrastructure received 101 papers. Third, International Conference on Vocational Education of Mechanical and Automotive Technology received 151 papers. Fourth, International Conference on Electrical, Electronics, Informatics, and Vocational Education received 71 papers. All accepted papers will be presented at the parallel oral session. I sincerely thanks to the program committee members for their thorough and timely reviews of the papers. On this occasion, I would like to express our gratitude to our speakers who will share their insight and experiences. First, Bapak Wikan Sakarinto, Director General of Vocational Education, Ministry of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia. Second, Professor Asusi Fukuda from Nihon University of Japan. Third, Professor Dr. Salwani Muhammad Daud from University Technology Malaysia. I believe it will be a beneficial input for all of us. Our highest appreciation also goes to all the universities and institutions that work collaboratively with us to co-host the conference. We do hope that this event will positively impact our future cooperation. And thank you to all committee members that have worked hard to manage the conference. Finally, I would like to apologize for shortcomings and any inconvenience during this event. Wish you have a productive discussion and fruitful conference. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now, may we invite at Interim Rector of Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta for the opening speech, at the end of which we would also like to kindly request the ad Interim Rector to officially declare the International Joint Conference on Engineering, Technology and Vocational Educations open straight afterward. Professor Dr. Margan M. Hum M.A., the floor is yours.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Minister of Education and Culture of Republic of Indonesia, Mas Menteri Nadiem Anwar Makarim, BA, MBA. In this occasion, represented by the Director General of Vocational Education, Bapak Wikan Sakarinto, ST, MSc, PhD, the honorable keynote speakers from Professor Asusi Fukuda from Nihon University, College of Science and Technology, Japan, Professor Dr. Salwani Muhammad Daud from University Technology Malaysia, dear Rector of University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, represented by Associate Professor Dr. Badarudin, Rector of Institute of Technology of Aditama Surabaya, Bapak Samsuri, PhD, Rector of Sarjana Wiyata Taman Siswa University, Yogyakarta, in this occasion represented by Vice Rector for Cooperation Affairs, Ibu Yuyun Yulia, PhD, and Rector of University of Janabadra, Yogyakarta, represented by Vice Dean of Academic, Student and Cooperation Affairs, Bapak Samsiro, PhD, dear Vice Rectors of Yogyakarta State University, Dean of Faculty of Engineering and other deans, Director of Graduate School, Head of Institute of Education, Development and Quality Assurance, Head of Entrepreneurship, Management and Development Body, Head of Bureau of Academic, Student and Cooperation Affairs, Head of Bureau of Financial and Public Administration Affairs, Heads of Vocational Education of Wates and Gunung Kidul, Vice Deans, Heads and Secretaries of Departments, Coordinators of Study Programs, all lecturers of Faculty of Engineering, the chairpersons of the Conference Committee, distinguished plenary speakers, presenters, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
May peace be upon these very fruitful and tremendous occasions of the 6th International Conference on Technology and Vocational Teachers, as abbreviated ICTVT, in collaboration with the other 3 international conferences, namely International Conference on Vocational Education of Mechanical and Automotive Technology, International Conference on Sustainable Infrastructure, and International Conference on Electrical, Electronics, Informatics, and Vocational Education in 2020 through virtual mode due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Those 4 simultaneous international conferences are hosted by Faculty of Engineering of Yogyakarta State University in collaboration with 4 other universities as co-hosts, which include University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, Institute of Technology of Aditama Surabaya, University of Sarjana Wiyata Taman Siswa Yogyakarta, and University of Janabadra Yogyakarta. It is greatly honored and pleased for me to warmly welcome all of you in this virtual conference. Distinguished speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has spread with alarming speed, infecting millions of people around the world, increasing the death rate of people and bringing economic activity to a near standstill as countries impose tight restrictions on human movement to minimize and halt or stop the spread of the virus. With regard to this, the policy of Yogyakarta State University takes a platform of virtual mode to hold the international conference as what we do today, on the grounds that health and safety among us should become the main priority. In reference to the theme of this two-day conference, it is evident that the existence of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 directly or indirectly drives a great number of citizens of every country to highly enhance and acquire the literacy of digital technology on the grounds that it promises the betterment of human lives. Furthermore, a great number of companies, industries, institutions, and the like give an emphasis on efficiency, productivity, effectiveness, practicality, automation, and sustainability with the employment of high digital technology. This suggests that education at any level including the university level, Yogyakarta State University should be concerned about establishing and generating agile graduates, including the graduates of vocational education, to fulfill the stakeholders' demands which meet the ecosystem of the workplace. In other words, establishing agile graduates of vocational education characterized with having high resilience, being able to adjust at any situations, having radiant, critical, and creative thinking skills, having good communication and network, being disciplined, being familiar with the ecosystems of workplace and others, is believed to be able to cope with any emerging problems in the globalization era of the 21st century. In reference to the above issues, Faculty of Engineering, Yogyakarta State University, is keen on responding to intensely enhance vocational students' capabilities and competencies on the parts of the students, on the basis of market demands and expectations of related stakeholders, by accentuating on the platform of triple helix model, that is the interwoven on the interconnection of the three parties, namely university, industry, and government. That is why the theme of this conference today deals with the technology enhancements to support vocational competence and freedom to learn. It is aimed at providing a forum for scholars, lecturers, researchers, teachers, stakeholders, practitioners, and students to intensively share ideas, best practices, and experiences under the topic mentioned, and to make a collaboration across institutions and countries. Distinguished invited speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, to gain the objectives, the committee has succeeded in inviting some prominent experts as the guest speaker and keynote speakers from different countries, namely Mas Menteri Nadiem Anwar Makarim, BA, MBA, the Minister of Education and Culture of Republic of Indonesia, in this occasion represented by the Director General of Vocational Education, Bapak Wikan Sakarinto ST MSc PhD. The second one, Professor Asusi Fukuda from Nihon University, College of Science and Technology, Department of Transportation System Engineering. And the third one is Professor Dr. Salwani Muhammad Daud from University Technology Malaysia. Therefore, in this opportunity, I would like to warmly express many thanks and gratitude to them all. In addition, it is unwise not to appreciate all delegates and participants who have managed to take a part in this today's conference through virtual mode. I hope that this conference brings some benefits to all the participants and contribute to the upbringing of the scientific life. Distinguished invited speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is really aware that this conference could not have been made possible without any helps from many parties, including the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Bapak Profesor Herman Dwi Surjono, MSc, MT, PhD, and his staff members, co-hosts, the delegates from many institutions, the head of the committee, and the committee members and others. Therefore, I should appreciate their work and dedication and express many thanks to them all. I do apologize for any shortcomings which you may find during this conference. Finally, I wish you get a fruitful and pleasant forum and enjoy yourself during this virtual conference. With the great word of Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, It is a pleasure for me to declare the official opening of the 4 simultaneous conferences, as above mentioned, through virtual mode. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Distinguished guests, all participants, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the opening ceremony of the International Joint Conferences on Engineering, Technology, and Vocational Education. Thank you very much for your participation. And on behalf of the committee, I would like to apologize for any shortcomings and inconveniences. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next item of today's program, we would like to have a few minutes break proceeding to the speech by His Excellency Wikan Sakarinto, PhD.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now proceeding to the next item of today's agenda, Keynote Speech. The keynote speech is delivered by Director General of Vocational School Education of the Ministry of Education and Culture, the Republic of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Wikan Sakarinto, PhD.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this session, questions are warmly welcomed. So please send your questions to the chat menu. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And thank you very much for the opportunity to let you know what will be the policy of the Minister of Education and Culture, at least for the next 5 years. And to all honorable keynote speakers, and to all professors, leaders, very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you very much. And allow me to present my material. Okay, first of all, I would like to deliver or to let you know the warm regards from our minister to all of us. He keeps sending warm regards to everybody in Indonesia and in the world. And as for the policy of Indonesia, at least for the next 5 years, is that human resource takes significant place and even becoming more important, since we will have demographic bonus in the next 5 or 10 years from now. And even maybe it's already going on, the demographic bonus. And that's why our president, Mr. Jokowi, he keeps stating that human resource, it's going to be playing a role more importantly to be concerned. And that's why he also keep mentioning as well about the vocational educations in this sense. Vocational education should really come up with graduates who really have competence, not only certificate, not only because of they have graduates in a certain place to study, like university, polytechnics, or maybe SMK, but no competence. So that's why the Directorate General of Vocational Education has been established in the last day of last year, December 31st. And it's brand new Directorate General that cover higher educations, vocational high schools, and also trainings. And you can see the numbers here. So we cover really a lot of institutions of vocational education in Indonesia, and million students, in fact. And the policy is is really to be linked and to be matched. Vocational and industry and workplace really to be not only linked but really matched. So it should meet the minimum condition of marriage, what's so-called marriage. So not only dating or not only introduction, but also, but it should come up to the level of marriage, link and match. So the packages is like this. Not only MOU signing. If we talk about link and match, perhaps some of us still been thinking about MOU signing, taking photograph and put in the newspapers. That is not what so-called link and match to be our policy for the next 5 years. This is the package of link and match, what so-called marriage level. Curriculum should be designed together, not only to be designed, but should be designed together. Teachers from industry, teachers expert from industry, should be at least 50 up to 100 hours per semester. Not only teachers of lectures from inside, but outside, experts. Internship to be minimum of 1 semester or maybe can be 2 semesters. Certificate of competence for students and also teachers. Internship, not only students, but also teachers. Minimum 1 semester, teachers should go for internship once in 5 years or 5 years. And the commitment of hire the graduates and the product research, applied research. So I know that, okay, I think I'm going to talk about how will the institutions, education institutions look like when they are already linked and matched with industry. And these are the characters of vocational campus, SMK, or maybe training centers. Those who already link and match. As you can see, graduates. The graduates should come up with competence. I told you, competence. And this is how they look like, graduates. Competence, cognitive, soft skill, and integrity, and this should be established by means of the curriculum. So curriculum should guarantee not only hard skill, but importantly is soft skills, communication, leadership, and integrity. Honest, hard worker. Attitude and etc. So these are the sets of competence that should be embedded, that should be created within the graduates, like this. Okay. So we should focus on more soft skill rather than hard skill. I'm not saying hard skill is not important. Hard skill is also very much important as we are a vocational. Okay, but to survive in the future, to be able to adapt to coming change of coming new paradigms in the futures, our students really need soft skill and attitude to survive. Cognitive is easy to be trained. Okay, so don't think that if we already teach too much hard skill or cognitive for the students, it means that they are ready to perform in the real world. That's not correct. That's not correct. But I'm not saying hard skill is not important. Okay, if we are a welder, then we should be able to weld. If we are expert in automation and control, then we have to be good in PLC or maybe microcontroller. But that's only tools. Okay. This soft skill, communications, leadership, problem-solving skills, skills for presentations, critical thinking, creativity, adaptability for difference, and that comes very critical, and that will last forever. That will last forever. That will last longer rather than the cognitive. Okay, and this is to be designed and to be ensured within the curriculum. So that's why here, after the graduates, curriculum should be adaptive, agile, and flexible. Okay? Curriculum should be adaptive, agile, and flexible to be created and designed and further to be approved together with industry. And this cannot be done if the lecturers or teachers are still in the comfort zone. So what is so important is that human resource, teachers, lecturers should be out of box, should be creative, should be very friendly with critical thinking moment, how to execute the change, how to move to break through the comfort zones, and also the leaders, principal, dean, directors, they should be having strong leadership and innovative. So these two components are very, very important. So our policy is that we are not going to deploy, we are not going to deliver any single rupiah, any budget at all. We will not deliver to polytechnics, to university, or to SMK if they have not guarantee, or if they have not managed how to set up leadership creativity within their human resource, their leaders. We are not going to deliver any budget to those who are not ready to execute the change, to move further. We are not going to deliver any budget to those who are only within comfort zones. The only thing, budget means building and facilities, building and facilities, building and facilities. That is not what we mean. I'm not going to say we will not send any budget, but if these leaders still think that only building and facilities, then it's not what we expect. So first is the sustainability, the creativity, how the project-based learning like this, how the curriculum should be adaptive, flexible. These are the characters what we meant. They are ready to be deployed with the budget. So curriculum, project-based learning, real project from industry to be deployed, to be delivered into the classes, and split the students, become groups, and let those students, group of students, to deal with the project professionally until they can satisfy with the result to the industry. So this is what so-called project-based learning. Again, soft skill. I don't think soft skill can be taught by theoretical subjects. No, soft skills, what the industry needs is soft skills. Yes, of course, hard skill, of course, hard skill also, yeah, but soft skills more important. And if we want to teach them with soft skill, then just bring them to the reality and just attach them to the real case, a project. Okay? And one project can be useful for several subjects. So one project for 2 or 3 months to be accomplished by the group of students, several lectures who handle several subjects can use these projects. For example, the lectures of subjects of Indonesian language. Don't too much teaching. Don't too much teach to the students theoretical. Just ask them to read, and then just teach them quite a while, and then the teachers or the lecturers of Indonesian subjects can sit to see or to look at the students working in the group to deal with the project, how they communicate, how they fight to each other, how they bargain, they argument to each other, how they communicate to the industry, how they communicate to the any other stakeholders. Lectures of Indonesian language can get the assessment. No need to teach a lot, just let them to practice. This is what so-called project-based learning. Applied research, okay, applied research. This should be engaged with also with project-based learning. So applied research should come up with the real product. Don't even think only papers and how it's going to be useful for teaching. And that can be combined with project-based. Project-based learning can not only they can sit in the class, but also they can go to the laboratory to deal with the projects. Okay, applied research, teaching factory, and this one, entrepreneurships. If you think about the technology of teaching, okay, digital technology for teaching, IoT for teaching, and etc. If the spirit not within this concept or also entrepreneurship, then I don't see what's going to be the change, the significant change of it. I mean, okay, we can use YouTube, or we can use e-learning system, LMS, or we also can use the virtual reality. We can also apply how virtual reality will deliver more comfortable way to teach in the era of globalization. Something like those ideas, of course, that's useful. But if the output or the outcome is not like this, so we will have to take care of that. I mean, okay, we can think about technology for teaching, but the spirit, the concept, we should start from the end. This is the end. This is the output that we want to create: hard skill, soft skill, and integrity. Okay, and also how entrepreneurship will be delivered. And again, this is going to be soft skill a lot. When we teach, when we want students to learn to get used to with entrepreneurship, then it means practical and soft skill. It's no much theory. I mean, theoretical stuffs will not work out for entrepreneurship. And again, curriculum must be changed. Curriculum must be reviewed and must be modified to be adaptive, agile, and flexible. Okay? Entrepreneurship. And these are the character. And you can see input students with passions, students' achievement. When we cannot push the students to achieve or to come up with achievement aside academic area, for example, debate competitions, PIMNAS, PKM, science competitions, sports competitions, arts competitions, whatever, soft skill and character. And that is very important. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy at all if the report is only the level of GPA. The average GPA of the graduates 3.5, 3.4. Okay, that's fine. That's kind of good. But I expect the number of achievements for the future leaders. So we are creating leaders. Even though we think about the technology of maybe, okay, I've prepared some material for those, for example, like this, trends in online learning, okay, e-learning statistic. So you can take a look at this slide. digital learning takes up to 60% less time than traditional classroom learning. Well, yes, it's happening now, but most probably it's because of COVID. Before COVID, very few lectures of professors who are willing to deliver the material, study the lectures in online platform. So we are pushed by the change, in this case, COVID. Okay, this again character, mindset of teachers, mindset of professors. And you can see here retention rates of higher from e-learning at around 25% to 60%. This is compared to 8% to 10% retention rates of classroom. This is somehow quite promising, okay? But again and again, the philosophical of teachings, please, not only on hard skill, but how you will equip this paradigm for the sake of soft skill and leadership, entrepreneurship. Okay, so something like this as well, critical thinking and etc. Well, anyway, I'm going to come back here. Link and match, in sense of with relate to the paradigm of digital technology development currently are still very much relevant. Okay, it's still very much relevant. Link and match and digital technology for teaching is very much relevant, because link and match currently, when the industries are struggling to survive during the pandemic, and now we are thinking about the new method, or maybe the more advanced method of teaching since the pandemic as well. So it should be link and match. Okay, it should be link and match. For me, tools, it's only tools. Virtuality, that's a tools. That's fine. I mean, we need to invent new tools more, since change is taking place forever. Okay, we cannot avoid the change. We cannot avoid. Please, no more disruptions in our life. That's something we have to deal with for any disruptions, including pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. But again and again, when we speak about tools without concept or mindset, then it's gonna be only 20% for the success factor. 20% success factors affected by design or roadmap, very good roadmap, very strong policy, a very nice SOP, very good infrastructures, machines, and facilities. That only. The other dominant success factor is by human resource, mindsets. Please be aware of this. How good the technology, how good the e-learning system, when teachers or professors do not get out from the comfort zones, find the new way, try the new way. Don't too much focus on hard skill, but also soft skill and leadership. And that will create graduates who will be able to survive in any following conditions of disruption. please change the curriculum, modify the curriculum. Okay, one thing, ladies and gentlemen, is it correct? Is it correct if our prodi, our campus got the accreditation of A, accredited A, but industry still complain about the graduates? What's the use of that? What will be the benefit of Indonesia? Only A in accreditations, but the curriculum still cannot ensure about the soft skill demand of industry. So maybe I'm thinking of to modify the accreditation system. The most correct one who accredited us is industry. Simple. When they are satisfied, when those industries are satisfied with our graduate, then automatically A. Simple. If they are not satisfied with our graduates, C automatically. How if that be introduced to our system? Will that disrupt us? Everybody who keep fighting for paper, maybe Scopus, okay, paper publications to be the professors, to get A on accreditations, that they will get disrupted. Because paper, when they do not know to deliver the product, I'm not saying that paper is wrong. Paper is fine. But research of vocational should come up with real product. Paper, fine. No paper, also fine. As long as this product is useful for industry and society. And this is what the research of vocational should be. Paper, fine. And students who also working to deal with this project, they will get the hard skill and also soft skill. And they can be entrepreneurs to produce this research product for their market. So that's what so-called teaching industry. And that will affect to the accreditations. As long as industry happy, then accreditation will be automatically A. And if industry are not satisfied, C, simple. Okay, that's still my thought. Not so easy, but please stop what we've been doing, not so much correct, and then please change our mindsets. Don't complain. Oh, I know the situation is not easy, but if we keep complaining, we cannot find the solutions. And that should be done together with industry and workplace. Link and match. Okay, back to you, and I'm afraid my time is up because I'm very sorry. I've jumped to the other room, Zoom. So back to you, Ibu.
Thank you, Bapak. Actually, we still have much time scheduled for this session. Would it be possible to accommodate other questions?
I'm afraid at 9 o'clock I have to be in another session.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, at 9 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, sorry at 9 o'clock. Yeah, sorry, I have meeting with Prof. Ainun, Bapak Sekjen in 9 o'clock. So I have to go to join the meeting with Professor Ainun. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry for this inconvenience.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Bapak Wikan Sakarinto PhD. Thank you for inspiring us. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the keynote speech session. Coming up next is the plenary session.
Okay, Ibu, ini one question left. Learning facilities. Okay, facilities. Okay, we provide budget to upgrade the facilities. We do provide budget from the minister to upgrade the facilities. But please, but only if you have changed the mindset, the curriculum, and etc. Please don't think that bring industry to campus, meaning what industry have, we should have. I don't think in that way. Industry have CNC machines of 5 axis, and then we should have 5 axis machines. So what? I mean, what's the use of 5 axis machine if we do not know how to employ the machine for teaching factory, applied research, project-based learning? Please prepare that first for that machine. Don't copy paste what industry have and then we have. We have CNC, okay, but we don't know how to use. Then you only have CNC. Just good to be taken pictures for Instagram. So please, first is human research, human resource mindset. Japanese in 1945, when they lost during the war, they did not have any money and they were very completely damaged. What they had is only human resource to jump up again. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bapak.
I hope to see you again. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. His Excellency Bapak Wikan Sakarinto, PhD, would you please stay just for a second for the photo session? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a photo session for a few minutes, of course together with Bapak Wikan Sakarinto, PhD. So would you please activate your videos and put your best smiles for a few seconds. All participants, ladies and gentlemen, after the keynote speech, together with us here, 2 outstanding speakers in their fields will be sharing their ideas with us in the plenary session. The first speaker is Professor Asusi Fukuda from Nihon University, Japan. He brings infrastructure development and engineering education in Japan as the topic of the presentation. And the second speaker is Professional Technologies, Dr. Salwani Muhammad Daud from University Teknologi, Malaysia. In her presentation, she discusses blockchain technology in the digital transformation era. Where are we now? And chairing this session is Ibu Yuyun Yulia, PhD. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the speakers and the moderator. Ibu Yuyun Yulia, PhD, please take the floor.
Check, check. Everybody can listen to my voice, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Clear, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Bu Nuni, for the time given to me. And ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to, let's say, mention. And the first one is that the Honorable His Excellency Minister of Education, Culture, Republic of Indonesia, Mas Menteri Nadiem. And in this occasion, he is represented by the Director General of Vocational Education, Bapak Wikan, that we just finished with his presentation. The Honorable Keynote Speakers, Professor Fukuda from Nihon University, College of Science and Technology, Japan, as well as Professor Salwani from UTM or University Technology Malaysia, Directors of University Tun Hussein Un Malaysia, Institute of Technology of Aditama Surabaya, Universitas Sarjana Wiyata Taman Siswa Yogyakarta, Universitas Jana Badra Yogyakarta atau yang mewakili, Vice Rectors of Yogyakarta State University, Dean of Faculty of Engineering of Yogyakarta State University and other deans, Director of Graduate School of Yogyakarta State University, Head of Institute of Education Development and Quality Assurance, Head of Institute of Research and Community Service, Head of Entrepreneurship Management and Development Body, Head of Bureau of Academic, Student and Cooperation Affairs, Head of Bureau of Financial and Public Administration Affairs, Vice Deans, Heads and Secretaries of Departments, Coordinators of Study Programs, all lecturers of Faculty of Engineering, the Chairperson of the Conference Committee, distinguished plenary speakers and parallel presenters, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning thank you. A very good morning. May peace be upon us. And hopefully first, I do hope that everyone is fine. Everyone is happy. And welcome to the 6th International Conference on Technology and Vocational Teachers, held by Faculty of Engineering, Yogyakarta State University, bringing the notion of technology and freedom to learn. Or perhaps if I would like to translate or to infer, this is, I'm thinking what we call by Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka. That currently becomes now a trending topic in Indonesian education system. The theme of this virtual conference is technology enhancement to support vocational competence and Merdeka Belajar or freedom to learn. I am Yuyun Yulia. I will be moderator in this virtual conference. And today we have two interesting topics and also two inspiring keynote speakers. But before we come to the first presentation, I just like to go through housekeeping matters, everyone. Each speaker, Prof. Fukuda, please note that your time is from 9 to 8 o'clock. And then participants, if you would like to have questions, feel free please to write in the chat box in our Zoom or perhaps in our YouTube channel. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce the first speaker, Dr. Asusi Fukuda. He is a professor of Department of Transportation System Engineering, College of Science and Technology, Nihon University. He is also board member of Japan Accreditation Board for Engineering Education. He already served in the academic field for 30 years teaching. Wow, it's cool. And doing research in the field of transportation systems and analysis and transportation planning. He was seconded by the Japan International Cooperation Agency as assistant professor to the Asian Institute of Technology for 2 years. He has fulfilled his responsibility as the member of the advisory committee for many projects, such as preparation survey for Bangkok Chiang Mai high-speed rail development, the study for the blueprint for the second Bangkok Mass Rapid Transit Master Plan for Bangkok Metropolitan Region. And I would like also to read honors and awards. Beginning in 1988, I think he begins with his dissertation award. And then in 1997 became Best Presenter Award, 23 Best Paper in Hawaii International Conference in System Science, 2006 Excellent Practice Paper Award, and award the third National Transport Conference held by Ministry of Transport, Engineering Institute of Thailand. And in 2009, International Activity Incentive Award held by Japan Society of Civil Engineers. And in 2019, Best Paper Award for Best Application in Practices, Eastern Asia Society for Transportation Studies. Your time, Professor Fukuda, will be more or less, let's say now it's 9:15 and it's up to 10 o'clock. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me pass the time over to Professor Fukuda, please.
Thank you, Julia. So can I share my screen? It's okay?
Yes, please. You are already co-host, I guess. Yeah,
I think so.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
Yep, it's very good. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you again for my introduction. First of all, I'm very honored to invite it to the preliminary session. I understand that how the organizer had a difficult time to organize or host like this conference by remote. 2 weeks ago, I also involved to organize some conference by remote. It was very exhausting. So I really appreciate all organizers involved this conference. I really surprised this morning, more than 300 people participate this conference. Anyway, I'm talking about infrastructure development and engineering education in Japan. So this is the contents of my presentation today. So first, I a little bit introduce the introduction infrastructure development and national economic development in Japan. Then I talk about a little bit the progress of engineering education. Then I introduce JABI activity, actually accreditation system. You also have already YABI. And finally, a little bit mention that what is required for engineering education in the future. So I basically introduce the past, then maybe present situation, then about the future. So I start from the very old, our history. Our modern nation started almost 150 years ago when the Meiji era was just a start. So on that time, our government decided to invite many Western engineers and let them to help to design and construct many infrastructure in our nation. And also those people involved education of engineers. So that was the first time to start higher education for engineering field. So many Japanese engineers start from this period. So Western people help, and later our engineer also worked for this. So our national railway almost constructed during this period. In urban area, of course, many trams. I believe that on that time, more than 160 cities has a tram in Japan. Now only we have only 70 cities. And also railway bridge includes many other facilities. But we have World War II. Then, as you know, that the U.S. bombed to most of the Japanese city. So all over the place was burned. So this is the same downtown of Tokyo. So almost nothing there because most of the house made by wood. So all burned out. So we have to restart from like this situation. This is a scene of the National Highway #1 from Tokyo to Osaka. So just after World War II, unpaved. Can you believe? That's so bad situation. So on those days, the Dr. Watkins visited Japan, and he published very famous report, and he mentioned that the road of Japan incredible bad. No other industrial nation has so completely neglected its highway system. So we start from this situation. So our government decided to develop our economy. So Ikeda cabinet proposed idea to make our income to the double in 1960. So on this plan, of course, most important thing, the enrichment of the social capital, but also see number 4, improvement of human capacity and the promotion of science and technology. So our government also realized that we need a human resource to develop the infrastructure. That is very important. So, and our government tried to host first Olympic game. Actually, this year we plan to have a second Olympic game, but in 1964, our government invited Olympic game in Tokyo. So on that time, Japanese government would like to demonstrate how that our nation already progressed and joined developed country. So for that purpose, our government accelerated to develop the infrastructure. For example, Tokyo Metropolitan Expressway opened 1962. And also Tome Expressway, which I just mentioned that paved road, but we have the highway and opened 1963. And also high-speed rail, Tokaido Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka, opened in 1964. You can see that many people come and see the Shinkansen. And I would like to make you understand that we basically borrow a lot of money from the World Bank. So Shinkansen, high-speed rail, expressway, urban expressway, and also like this water dam, thermal power station, iron and steel, every infrastructure, we borrow the money from the World Bank and constructed. And actually, we returned all loan in 1990. So you can understand that our DNA, I think the most of Japanese engineer have experience like this. So we have nothing in city or nation. Then we developed all infrastructure with the support of the World Bank. So you can see some correlation between construction work and economic growth. This is the amount of the budget for the road construction. And if we superimpose our GDP, so you can see clearly that there is some kind of relationship, right? So most of Japanese believe for the economical development, we need infrastructure. So everybody have that kind of experience. Every day, new road open, new railway open, and then our economy getting better. So most of the senior Japanese have such kind of experience. That is a DNA for Japanese people. And you can see that how we develop the nations. That is the opening of the high-speed rail of the nation. And one thing is that we developed comprehensive national development plan. So most of important thing is how to develop the nation. For that purpose, we propose transportation system. I just involved many projects, high-speed rail projects in abroad, for example, in Thailand now. And when we go to there, so people just discuss which technology is better. Same way as Indonesia, Chinese high-speed rail or Japanese high-speed rail. I always told them, high-speed rail is not issue. Issue is how to develop the nation. And for that purpose, do you really need high-speed rail or not? That is the point. But in the case of Japan, we always develop the comprehensive national development plan. So you can see the many evidence. Those areas was industrial areas proposed by our government. And if we superimpose the high-speed rail network, you can clearly see those areas connected by high-speed rail and bound to the Tokyo, bound to Osaka, bound to Nagoya. So this is our concept. So of course, we renew the plan every time. This is the original plan to have a high-speed rail. So some routes still not exist. We are working on. Then we propose many ideas how to develop the nation like this. Or on the third plan like this. But every time we can see that the relationship between like industrial development and transportation network. So my friend, Professor Shimizu in University of Tokyo, he calculated travel time and developed like this map. So by those high-speed rail network, Japan became the very smaller and squeeze. So still, we don't have high-speed rail in Hokkaido Islands, so the area is look like a large, but most of places squeeze become very compact. So we can travel every places by high-speed rail. Of course, not only high-speed rail, but also highway network, because 90% of commodity flow logistics in Japan carried out by heavy truck. So highway also important. High-speed rail cannot carry the goods. So we also develop like this highway network in Japan. So, and our government always look at the balanced development of the nation. Just after the World War II in 1955, many people just come to Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya. So population growth rate is very high in the big city. And then we would like to calm down like this growth rate. So in 2000, it became very gentle. So we keep the balance of the national development by those transportation network development. So that was our experience. And when you talk with Japanese, please understand why Japanese people so keen to bring ODA project in your country. and especially many senior engineers visit your country. They would like to involve the infrastructure planning. I believe not for business. They truly believe infrastructure development is the key of the economic growth. So that's the reason why I said it's DNA of Japanese people. So next is the relationship between infrastructure development and the progress in engineering education. So as I already tell, so the industry and the government realize that, okay, if we develop the infrastructure, where is engineers? Just after World War II, many students study the legal field or humanities. Only few people study the science, engineering. Maybe not good for salary, I'm not sure, but the percentage of the students who study the science and engineering is rather small. So this is like an industry foundation mentioned on the level that we have to increase number of students and switch to the science and the engineering. That is, they said, significantly out of the balance. So that, according to those comments from the industries, our government also hurry to maybe increase number of the students in science and the engineering field. So at first, in 1957, our government urgently developed 8,000 plan, increased the capacity of the science engineering students in the university up to 8,000. Then, but the government renewed in 1961, just 4 years later, up to 20,000 students. Then, next 4 years, government also accelerate the higher education and try to expand. On the third plan, look at not only for engineering, but also other fields. So you can see the impact of like this government plan. So this is the increment of the student capacity. You can look at 1955 and 1960. Then after 10 years, in 1970, number of students increased more than 3 times like this. So, and you can see the number of the engineering program, faculty of engineering also increased. You can see that from 1960 to 1970. As I already explained, our Shinkansen opened 1964 and Urban Expressway 1962 and Tomei Highway opened 1963. So on those days, we need many engineers. So government hurry very much to educate them. So try to increase the capacity of the university. Without any engineers, it is impossible to develop the infrastructure. So, and then later, I believe that we need more higher educated engineers, advanced engineers. So the percentage of the graduate school students increase. And there is a good example. I work at the Department of Transportation Systems Engineering. Actually, our department started by the Department of Transportation Engineering in 1961, almost same period. Here is the Professor Toyama. he's one of the founders of our department. He urgently visit our university and proposed to establish a new department concentrate in transportation engineering. And on some document, he write down you can read it, bottleneck for economic development. So we need infrastructure, especially transportation facilities. Those are, if we don't have enough, it becomes a bottleneck for economic development. So he said that's the reason why he established the Department of Transportation Engineers. I think recently we totally have 7,000 alumni, and most of them work at not only construction company, but also railway company, police department, logistic companies, all over the transportation industry, and they contributed to develop the infrastructure. Okay, so third topic is the JABI, Japan Accreditation Board for Engineering Education. I also a little bit helped to establish YABI. So I believe that some of you already know about the accreditation system, but this is the existing situation about our higher education system in engineering field. We have a lot of change in the environment. So before, as I told you, we have to build many things just increase. So very happy period, but now change because popularization of university. Now anyone can enter the university. So faculty members have to deal with the different ability of the students. And also students have a different background. Social demand also change. So we have to deal with such kind of a situation. And the second, there is a progress in academic research. It was very good, but our curriculum becomes so sophisticated and fragmented. So many people now very concerned because students just look at very small field. They are very high level engineer, but can understand only his field. So we have to look at interdisciplinarity and comprehensiveness. So those curriculum also required. And third, uncertainty of the social change. That is a big problem. No one can predict our future. So everything's all change. New technology coming. How to adapt like this situation. And also our society become internationalized, and also many computers come to our society. So environment, I said environment changed very much. So in the case of Japan, now the 80 years old population decreased very much. In Japan, population already started to decrease. So that is the bad sign for university. On the other hand, of course, entrance rate to university increased over the 50%. So half of the 80 years old people enter the university now. So I said the popularization. So we have to accept any type of the students. And also there are many, many changes. We hurry to develop the infrastructure, but those development bring many burden to our society. For example, air pollution and traffic accidents. In 1970, fatality became the higher, more than 60,000 people die by traffic accidents. Now, last year in Japan, less than 4,000, 3,500 something, but 4 times compared with now. And also air pollution situation was very bad. And we have developed, but now global environmental issue also come to our society. Nowadays, weather are quite strange. We have many floods in Japan, many typhoon hit our nation. So strange. So we have to deal with like a global warming problem too. So now we have to improve our university education. We have to reconsider what kind of students is the educational program intended for, and who does the education program train, and what quality and ability, and what kind of system in that case we have to bring to the educational program, and what is the core of education program. So the department or faculty concentrate to the special field, so lost the core of the education program. And what are the characteristics of the educational program? We have to appeal to the society. Those are many questions we have. So we have many discussions. One thing is that our government asked to university to reconsider our program. We usually think how to accept a student. Then we provided the curriculum. Then we let the student graduate. In this way, we always consider. But now we have to change this process upside down. So at first, we have to consider what kind of student we would like to let graduate. Then for that purpose, what curriculum we have to prepare. Then what student we should accept to our program. So we call the 3 policies. Now all programs in Japan try to adapt this concept. We change the way of thinking to set up the educational program. About the accreditation system, each of the scientific society establish like committees and discuss what is a problem and how to improve the education. In my case, I work for the JSC, Japan Society for Civil Engineers. So I also involved as a committee member of the higher education in civil engineering field. So we discuss many times what we can have and what we have to do. And this is a fact that we have a big argument because we studied about the accreditation system. Basically, we learned ABET in the US. Then we discuss how to bring like this accreditation system to our education. But some professor against this idea. I remember the big argument. Maybe I spent more than 2 years for this. Some said we need more interdisciplinary education. So if we bring accreditation system, it look like bring the standard. So it means against the idea of the interdisciplinarity. So this make our education system is bad. Some professor always say like this. But some other people, purpose of introducing the accreditation system is not standardized education, but to promote continuous improvement of education and improvement of education is strongly required. So so JSC also sent the members to the US. I also visit as an observer of the ABET site visit, like Stanford University, University of Kansas, or many universities. I suppose their visit, and I try to learn. And so I support idea to introduce accreditation system. That system, especially EC 2000 of the ABET, try to bring the system, not standardize any education system. They just bring the PDCA cycle to the education. I think that is a good. So anyway, we established JABI in 1999, and many scientific organization, society join, and some industry also join and support this activity. I believe now 63 full members support JABI activities. And those slides I get from the JABI itself. So maybe you already know the accreditation system. So I skip to explain this part. And the process is quite similar with YABI, of course. So this year we have a big difficulty under the COVID-19. So we have to postpone all of evaluation, especially site visit, to the next year. We can have only 3 programs to evaluate this year. So each academic society responds to the evaluation and send the evaluation team to the each program. Then we have, we mean the JABI itself, have some kind of the meeting and coordinate everything. So we basically spend the time to develop like this process itself, work many times. I remember first trial, I joined the first trial evaluation team in some university. I really got nervous, I remember. The first time we don't know what we can do. We visit some university and evaluate them. It's very difficult to say that your program is not good. And we basically judge to accept the concern, weakness, deficiency. But now recently JABI improved the system. Now we have satisfy weakness and deficiency, because we already spent more than almost 20 years. So we already adapt this system, so improve. At initially, it was very difficult for the many programs to adapt a new system because we have a long history of own education. So we cannot adapt to the evaluation system. Now it became smoother. So we have a many type of education evaluation. That's maybe I can skip. I don't have enough time. So you can see the number of the programs, almost 500 programs apply to the accreditation in Japan. And unfortunately, some withdraw because they reform the faculty itself or some shortage of the fund, but still 350 programs accredited in Japan. And the important thing is, as I said, that the PDCA cycle, I think most of professors very good to develop the plan and doing something, but we are quite not sure to check and improve. We just do PD and that's all. We don't have a CA. So by the JABI, we have to have like this cyclic system to our education. Now we summarize 6 criteria to the 4 criterions. And then in the case of our department, also it was very difficult to adjust to our own the mission of the curriculum to the JABI evaluation. So we did many like these figures and explain how they relate to the JABI target and also JABI criteria and our target and our curriculum and each classes. But anyway, now it became very common for us. Every classes we always report our class. Then we propose, we have to submit improvement plan. We carefully listen the students. If a student states some kind of the problem, we have to tell them how to improve for the next class. And we have to share this information with other faculty members. Before it was very difficult. Assistant professor cannot tell to the professor that your education is not well, but now we can frankly talk about this. That is a good thing. Okay. So anyway, we can expect to apply what we can expect to apply accreditation. So we can make clear that the position of each of the classes, and we have some kind of the sense that we taught to the student by program, not by each of the professor. As a team, we used to teach the students. And so we always consider like a class management. And we always assess our education. And we have to feedback to our education. And listen student opinion. That is very important. Then recently, EIA, for the EIA, of course, JABI also accepted the graduate attribute and the professional competencies. So we also look at the graduate attributes and the professional competencies for our education. And one of the good things in Japan, if the program was accredited by JABI, so in that case, our graduate can pass the first examination of a professional engineer in Japan. So they can quickly can apply to the second examination of professional engineer in Japan. So much easier to get the professional engineer in Japan. So that is a good advantage for the students. And I think now many countries try to accept accreditation system. So as you know, there is a Washington Accord. Japan also one of the signatories. And I believe that the Indonesia become provision signatories. So Japan supports the Indonesia. So now many countries, I also surprised I made this figure, put many flags. So now many countries have a similar accreditation system. So it means that we can prove that our education system meet with the international standard. And about the YABI, I cannot tell that which university I visit, but once I also already twice visit the Yogyakarta. So I think JABI had 5 years activity with the JICA. This is a really good example in Japan. Also, JABI itself very honored and very proud to support YABI. And I also very impressed activity of YABI. Many of the Indonesian academic people or industrial people work very hard. I really impressed about the activities. So I hope that we can have a good relationship to make our higher education in engineering field good in the future. So lastly, I just mentioned that what is required for engineering education in the future. So I think what we cannot predict. So many things actually we can predict. So vital statistics in the future or sustainable societies. And what we cannot predict is, of course, a pandemic, this new normal situation. Some said it can predict, but I think most of people cannot. And digital transformation. So next presenter maybe talk about this issue. And I get some interesting statement that some said 65% of children enrolled in primary school in 2011 will be in the profession that no longer exists when they graduate from the college. So we cannot know in the future what kind of technology come to our society. So this is a situation of the demographic change after the 2020. So going decrease much, that is a very hard time for Japan. And director also mentioned about this demographic dividend. It's mean population bonus. So as you know that when the population increase, economy also grow. But sooner or later become the aging society. Please look at the right-hand side, small figures. In Japan, our society already became elderly society. So rate of the productive population, it became very low now. Indonesia now okay, but sooner or later in Indonesia also become aging society. Look at the China or Thailand, Korea also become already aging society. That is we can predict. And maybe you should understand. Please compare 1970 and 2010 in Japan. So blue means social security, and red is public works, so construction. So you can say that in 1970, of course, the fund for public works is bigger than the social security. But now, please look at 2010. We spend many money for social security, healthcare, or take care of elderly people. And we cannot use the money for construction. So this is the meaning of the aging society. So you cannot use the money in the future for the infrastructure. So you have to understand your time is so limited to develop something. Sooner or later, you have to use more money for social security. And one more thing that now we look at SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Every country look at SDGs. And under this SDGs target, but there are many problems: low carbon, sustainability, population decline, elderly society, disparities between the areas or the social classes. Then behind this, we have new technologies. So in Japan also discuss about the society 5.0. So we should have a virtual society plus real society. So also introduce AI, IoT, or some other things like a digitalization of our society. Maybe last year, I think it may be far away in the, not now in the future, but because of COVID-19, now this becomes very real. And in the case of transport, I work in the transport. Of course, case or math, those keywords become very important. So everything connect to the computers, and everything connect to the internet. Then we have to control everything, those society. But this part, still we are quite not sure what kind of technology coming. So digital transformation, drone, AI, some other things, even the infrastructure should be connected with the network. Those societies coming. And about the new normals, that is the my student draw how many people out based on the Google information. So in the case of Japan, we don't have lockdown, but still many people stop to go out. Little bit back, but sometimes decrease. Look at India, they lock down very much, so people cannot go out. Now, 50% or compared with as usual. So no one knows what's going on after this. So this is the last slide. What is required for the future engineering? I think first, the amount of public funds that can be invested in the infrastructure development will decrease. Everybody should realize about this, especially who involved to develop the infrastructure. And the second, many new technologies will be developed, and unpredictable society will be realized. We are not sure what's kind of society coming, so we have to prepare for that. And digital transformation or any other progress coming to our society. So under like this environment, we have to engineers at our programs, and they need a really capability to adjust the change of the situation, and they have to continuously study. So we have to put such kind of ability to our students. That's all my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your really great insight. Let's say beginning from the previous one, what was happening in the past with the bombs, and then what will be the next after, you know, what is the bomb time at that time. And Japan already develops infrastructure and also progress, especially here in the engineering education, with so many changes in terms of environment and also social demands. And to me, which is interesting, is that on how Jabi, we have Jabi and Yabi. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yabi and Jabi. All right. Jabi, in this case, I know that it is or the agent, or what is the board, to standardize. Not to standardize, but it is more to promote continuous improvement in education. I think this is very good. And then the last one, the note from you, Professor Fukuda, is that how we prepare, or how we, let's say, manage our children, their ability to face, you know, the coming years. Well, thank you very much for Professor Fukuda.
You're welcome.
And please be kindly to wait for the second also presenters.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We already noticed that 2 questions have been proposed from Bandung. Yeah, from Bandung, as well as I think this one is from Jogja, yeah, the second one. Do you think so? Okay. And the next one, all dear ladies and gentlemen in this conference, virtual conference, the second keynote speakers, this is privilege as well for me to introduce Ibu Professor Salwani. She is a professor of the Advanced Informatics Department in Razak Faculty of Technology and Informatics, University Technology Malaysia, or UTM. She obtained her Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics Engineering from the University of Liverpool in 1984. Then she received her Master Engineering in Electrical Engineering in 1989 and PhD in 2006 from University Technology Malaysia. She is a member of the Institute Electronic Engineer, or IEEE, registered professional technologist from Malaysia Board of Technologies, and registered as well graduate engineer with the Board of Engineers Malaysia, or BEM. She has been with UTM for more than 30 years. The same also with Professor Fukuda, I guess, yeah, 30 years experience, and has vast experience in teaching and research. Her research area is focusing on artificial intelligence, blockchain, and IoT, or Internet of Things. Currently, she is teaching machine learning and system design for security for the postgraduate program, as well as she is supervising more than 10 PhD candidates and had graduated from 30 postgraduates. She is also leading few research grants in the related topics, securing more than 2 million ringgit of R&D funds. She also has published more than 100 academic articles in journals, proceedings, books, and she currently heading the Cyber Physical Systems Research Group. Well, everyone, and we welcome Professor Salwani. Professor, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Yuyun. So thanks a lot for my introductory background. So I am Salwani from UTM. So the Honorable Rector Negeri Yogyakarta, Professor Dr. Margana, Honorable Representative from other universities, the Honorable Deans of the Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, the Conference Chair and Organizing Committee, dear distinguished guests, invited speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel honored to be invited to deliver a speech in this conference. Okay, this is the 3rd International Conference on Electrical, Electronic, Informatics and Vocational Education. So just to give some about current situation, we see that the coronavirus outbreak is causing widespread concern and also economic hardship for consumers, business and communities across the globe, and also to the educators like us, because we have to adopt to new normal, whereby we need to adopt and adapt the new way of teaching and learning. I think as mentioned earlier by both the speakers about change mindset and also change the way we used to do previously. So this one also, but for a fact is that the pandemic has not slowed in innovation. With this pandemic era, one blessing is you can see more innovations has being created and being used. Okay, so we have been stripped of many basic things we do to give our life fulfillment in order to slow down the spread of coronavirus and saving lives. Out of this, we use novel things, like we use technology, to to do all the things that we want to do. So for example, like business, they have new way, not only depend like the previous one, but they use technology for digital marketing so that they can get engaged to the customer. So these are among the new things. And also for educators, of course, we also use technology to reach to our students. Okay, so that is among what's happening now, and we can see that although the pandemic is still not over yet, but we can see there are more innovations in technology. So let me share my slide today. Okay, so this is about the topic that I'm going to deliver now today, blockchain technology in the digital transformation era. Where are we now? So I'll be presenting on the first about the blockchain itself, then the evolution, and some of the emergent application that is based on a blockchain, and what are the barriers that hinders the adoption, the blockchain adoption. Okay, so this one of the quote given by Antonio Senato. He mentioned this statement: "This is the beginning of the decade of blockchain, and I think in 2020 we'll start to see the global recognition of crypto assets in the financial services industry." Okay, this is from Deloitte. So what is blockchain? So I think probably many of you already heard about blockchain, and they already know about ledger, about records, about the of course the first the one that is very popular that is related to blockchain is Bitcoin. Okay, so blockchain is a shared immutable ledger that facilitates the process of recording transaction and tracking assets in a business network. So this asset can be tangible like house, car, or cash land, or intangible like intellectual property, patents, copyrights, and branding. So anything that can be tracked and traded, anything virtually in digital form can be tracked and traded in the blockchain network. So what we get, we can reduce risk and cutting costs for all involved. And yes, blockchain is a distributed ledger, which it helps to provide the trust platform. Yeah, even though we have many, I mean the peers that we do not know, or might be the untrusted peers, but still the transaction can happen in this blockchain platform. Okay, so this also we can see here digital blockchain. What is blockchain technology again? It's a digital ledger that keeps record of all transactions taking place on a peer-to-peer network. This is about peer-to-peer network. And also we have this encryption. Yeah, that's why it's being secured. And it is decentralized, whereby there's no mediator. Okay. And then this also can be used not only to transfer currency, but other digital assets. Okay. And also be encrypted so that it will provide privacy to the data. Okay, so this is the first model for the Bitcoin model. The first, I think the first thing about blockchain people that has appeared online. Okay, this is the Bitcoin model. Okay, so when A wanted to do a transaction or wanted to give send fund to B, so then this will be this data will be combined in a new block, and this new block must get approval from all the nodes. Okay, the nodes can be the peer here, the computer which is in the network. So once they get approval from all the nodes, then only this block will be added to the ledger. Once added, the information that has been added in the ledger cannot be altered or cannot be changed anymore. That's why it says it's being integrity of the data. So what is inside this block is it will have the information about the transfer from which node to which node, and the amount of money transferred, and what the reward given, and the timestamp, the size, and also the height. So this, because of the it create a chain, that's why it is known as blockchain. So this is the first Bitcoin model and the first blockchain example. And later one, this one we have Hyperledger Fabric model. So here it is, this model is like more like a permissioned blockchain, because blockchain we have to type public or permission. So public, where anyone can enter the network without any approval. But for permission, these peers must get approval before they get before they become the members in the network. Okay, so the process, the transaction is quite the same. Okay, when A wanted to send something or fabric, we call this a fabric client because it's under fabric model. Then Bob is the receiver end. So anything will be on the contracts. Okay, smart contract we call here. And this smart contract will get approval from this peer. Okay, and then once it is approved, then this block will be added to the ledger. So what's the difference between the architecture of many models is mainly on this consensus mechanism. Yeah, this approval part, approval mechanism here. That makes the difference between the different models of blockchain. Okay, so these are different type of consensus algorithms. Okay, first, this proof of work is being used in Bitcoin. Okay, where every node must approve, then only the new block will be added to the ledger. And like just now, we have this Hyperledger. They mainly use this practical Byzantine fault tolerance. It's another algorithm. So this is one type of consensus algorithm. So actually, there are many more here. So have been created by the developers to improve the first blockchain model Bitcoin. Okay, so the blockchain characteristic, first, because of their immutability, meaning that there's now, once the record is being recorded in the ledger, there's no more change. Nobody can do the change. Or can, so what has been created with this characteristic, we have this trusted environment, even though in anonymous identities. Even though the transaction is being dealt between untrusted people, but still they have because of they use under blockchain, we can say it is under trusted environment, even though it might be the shareholders, or the nodes or the peers cannot be trusted. Okay, and then distributed, meaning that no sole person entity controls the information in the network. So this one, no intermediary. Okay, meaning that if you want to do any money transaction, you want to send money from Jakarta to Kuala Lumpur, you don't need a bank. You can do it directly with blockchain platform. And then anonymity, of course, yes, the identities are not revealed in this blockchain environment. And also the next one is enhanced security, whereby since the data cannot be changed, that's why we can get the integrity of the data. Okay, so see what's the evolution. So started with 1991, whereby Stuart Hubbard and W. Scott Stonetta give the idea about the blockchain. And then only in 2009, this blockchain 1.0 appear with the Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency. Okay, this one to solve the problem about double spending problem using peer-to-peer network. So this one being introduced by Satoshi Nakamoto. So no one knows who is he or team, no one knows, and where this team comes from. Okay, and the next blockchain 2.0 is 2015, where Ethereum was proposed. Still, this also with cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin. This one also Ethereum, so they have cryptocurrency known as Ethereum, which was proposed by Vitalik Buterin, and then went online on 2015. So that starts the blockchain 2.0. So in this Ethereum, we have smart contracts. Compared to Bitcoin, they don't have smart contracts. So smart contracts is it's a coding lines, it's computer codes, which are stored in the blockchain, which can automatically execute when predetermined terms and conditions are met. So this is good actually in blockchain. And next in blockchain 3.0, which started from 2018, just a few years ago, we have these dApps. Okay, these are decentralized applications. So it has this back-end code running on a decentralized peer-to-peer network. Okay, and of course the front-end code it is seamless to the users. Okay, so because it appears like a mobile apps. Okay, but the back end it has this it has been backed up with this decentralized coding, and also there are more open source for the developers to build their own blockchain. So they are given they provide tools and framework. And this also is mainly when you talk about decentralized, it's not owned by any enterprise or any owner. It is shared by the people, by the users, by the community. Okay. So whether to 2030 blockchain is here or not, we just have a look and see more on the survey, okay, done by Deloitte later. So this one is about the blockchain platforms. These are just few examples, starting from 2009 with Bitcoin, and then Ethereum in 2015. Then we have Hyperledger 2018 with EOS. EOS is one operating system, okay, for blockchain. And 2020 also we have this Corda. Okay, so these are some of the comparison made for few blockchain platforms. Okay, we have here Hyperledger Indy, and also we have Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Sawtooth, and Hyperledger Iroha. All these are developed by Linux Foundation, and they focus more on multi-industry, meaning that not only for financial services, but can be like for supply chain or other types of industry. Okay. So the type of ledger, it is permissioned. Okay, this one is like private. Okay, private blockchain. Where permission is always private blockchain, meaning that those who want to enter the network must get approval from the from the owner. From the network. Okay. And the Ethereum is permissionless. When permissionless, no permission is no permission. They can enter to the network, okay, without permission, and it is called as public blockchain. So these are like Ethereum and also Bitcoin. So these are permissionless. And you can see here the consensus mechanism. There are different type of consensus mechanism, okay, for each blockchain platform, and only two here without smart contract. Others with smart contract. Okay. Okay. Then those developers for each blockchain platform, yeah, you can check on because they're offering the developers to build on their platform. Okay. So this one from Deloitte blockchain survey. In Deloitte 2019 blockchain survey show that blockchain adoption has shifted. As the technology matures, they see more a move away from experiment toward the development of robust enterprise-ready solutions. So no more just experiments or in the lab, but they are developing more ready solutions for the enterprise to use. Okay, so this the latest one report Deloitte 2020 Global Blockchain Survey. This survey was conducted on this 1,488 senior executives and practitioners in 14 countries. Okay, Brazil, Canada, up to Switzerland and United Arab Emirates and United States. So these respondents, they have broad understanding of blockchain. They know about digital assets and DLT, distributed ledger technology. And they are familiar with their organization's blockchain and digital asset investment plans, perception, and among other metrics. So this, they use this. The instruments are used on this very senior executive with good experience on blockchain. Okay, so I want to share some of the Deloitte results to see how far does this blockchain being accepted. Okay, so about this, blockchain standing as a top 5 strategic priority continue in 2020 with a clear majority of respondents. So the question is, which of the following best describe how you currently view the relevance of blockchain to your organization or project in the coming 24 months? Okay, so it has been increased from 2018 from 43% to 55% in 2020. And also, it will be important but not in our top 5 strategic priority also being reduced, okay, from 29% to 26%, okay. And then the next question, the next statement, it will be relevant but it's not a strategic priority, also be reduced. And also here also it will not be relevant, also be reduced. So that is the perception about the blockchain incorporated to their organization. Okay, then what is your level of agreement or disagreement with each of the following statements regarding blockchain? So the first statement is about blockchain technology is broadly scalable and will eventually achieve mainstream adoption. So 88% agree to this statement. In 2020, which has been increased from this 2018 with 84%. Okay, so it has been, many has already the views or the perception have already increased, for this about the changing attitudes on blockchain and its adoption. Okay, how about this one about the incorporation of blockchain to the organization? So also has been increased, from 2019 is only 23%, now up to 39% in 2020. And also this blockchain has generate revenue which is more than 100 million, about 41%, and 46% of them say that the blockchain has already generate revenue of more than $1 billion. Okay. So digital assets. Okay, so digital asset is something that represented in digital form that has some intrinsic value. So for example, the digital representation of land, commodities, fiat currency. Okay, so these are among examples of digital assets which has value. So for example here, enterprise control, it can be in the form of video, in the form of documents, okay, and 64% say that they will consider the following digital asset in their business model. And also general asset backed by basket of assets or currencies, 63%. Okay, and also equity tokens also 56% agree to adopt this digital asset into they will consider this digital asset into their organization. Okay, this one about countries replacement, digital asset as alternative or replacement for fiat currencies by country. So from this survey, it seems that China 94% agrees, strongly agree that digital asset will be an alternative or replacement for fiat currency in the next 5 to 10 years, followed by Brazil, United Arab, and Singapore. Okay, so maybe there's some similarities, in the financial services that is available in these countries. Okay, how about security? So now, how do cyber security issues affect your organization, blockchain, or digital asset strategy? So 21% concerns over security. Cyber security alone prevent any advancement in the blockchain or digital asset strategy. And 58% cyber security issues are among several kinds of issues that figure into our blockchain or digital asset strategy. Okay, so this how to show that concerns about the cyber security is still there. So that's why studies or research has been keep on ongoing on this particular topic. Okay, so when this is about global digital identity. So what is the greatest positive impact about this global digital identity? With using this blockchain platform, we would be able to have some applications on global digital identity. So the most positive impact when this global digital identity is being used is on global financial transaction, because people really trust with with this global digital identity is there. So maybe this global financial transaction will be have more positive impact. The data privacy and ownership, and then consumer identity for financial transaction, and also healthcare and patient identity. So with this, I think they are more, comfortable when the data is being shared or used with this global digital identity being in place. Okay, how about the countries? Again, we can see here different attitudes about blockchain. So blockchain technology is broadly scalable and will eventually achieve mainstream adoption. So we can see here China 45%, and United Arab Emirates agree more than other countries, 53%. So they strongly agree that it will eventually achieve mainstream adoption. And then about the importance of digital asset in the next 3 years. So I think this one also from United Arab Emirates also agree on the importance of this digital assets in the next 3 years. Okay. And as for blockchain as a top 5 strategy priority, I think China is the most, 70% agree with this statement. Okay. And also here also you see China also have already brought blockchain to production. Okay, and also they start hiring staff with this blockchain expertise also from China. Okay, the most 71%. Okay, they have already start hiring the staff with blockchain expertise. Okay, what are the among the applications in for blockchain? So this one, most of them, like this one, 33% say it is more for digital currency. Okay, and 32% for data access or sharing, and then 31% for data reconciliation and identity protection. So these are the most use cases of blockchain agreed by those respondents. So now I want to share some emerging applications on blockchain based. Okay, so now we are still in Web 2.0, which is very highly centralized, and some of it already create some many issues like security, privacy, control, and also concentration of power in the hands of large enterprise. So we can see here, like we share our data in like Instagram or Facebook willingly, okay, willingly, and those enterprise or those because it is centralized, so it's still owner. So the owner will make use of the data with our consent actually. Okay, so you can see that sometimes when you scroll down your Facebook, when some certain time will pop up something advertisement, because they know that you are searching on this like food, so come up some advertisement on food. So it is being the technology is like, is they can do that. Okay, so because of that, they feel that some of us feel that it is something, because the data is there, people can use, and it is seem that's not secure. Okay, so now they are thinking about this Web 3.0. So Web 3.0 is is decentralized. Okay, the users, meaning we are in control of our data and identity. So later on, with this decentralized web, it will replaces some of the applications, current applications like Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Uber. So of course, they are also doing something like Facebook, Google, so they are doing something on the blockchain as well. Okay. So how to achieve this decentralized web? It can only be achieved by building this Web 3.0 using these blockchain technologies. Because with this technology, with blockchain technology, we have these features about trust verification, privacy preserving, and also interoperability protocols, and also we have this decentralized identity. Okay, so it's coming. Okay, now without we might be we also not aware. So all these apps, I mean this technology will be appear, yeah, in not very short, I think might be a few years time. So these are examples, some of the apps, yeah, where it's known as Web 3.0 apps, which is powered by blockchain. So like browser, currently we are many people using this Chrome or other browsers. Okay, but now with Brave is a new browser which is considered as Web 3.0 because it is based on a blockchain, which is more decentralized. So when you can have a look at this Brave browser, whereby when you use this Brave browser and when there is an advertisement and you read through the advertisement in this Brave browser, you will be given, you will be paid by token. Okay, so they say this is more democracy, like not like this no the current browsers, whereby where there is any advertisement you read or you go through the advertisement, don't get any pay. But Brave, they give you some token, so that is more democracy. That's what they say about decentralized and distributed, and also with the digital assets. So, okay, storage, like here, like now we use Dropbox or Google Drive, and they have another one. This storage store J, which whereby this the storage, the servers in this store J are hosted by many people. So it's not owned by like Google Drive, just owned by Google, but this one is owned by the servers owned by many people. Okay, this example of storage. And this they said this expertise might be can replace Skype. So this expertise is allowing experts, yeah, to be rewarded, yeah, when they this allow the expert will be rewarded because they use their time, their knowledge and expertise by receiving calls. This expertise. So I haven't tried, but I think that it's quite interesting actually. When you are be rewarded after you have given you have spent your time and also your knowledge. And OS, operating system, now we have this, yeah, and Android and iOS. But the new one on blockchain, we have this EOS, and also these are EOS and Essential.1. So these are blockchain based, whereby it is more decentralized and have the interoperability is improved. Yeah, is they can achieve these interoperability protocols. And social network, this is a Steemit, which they claim that it can replace this Facebook and also Twitter. Okay. And also status is another application whereby it might replace this WeChat and also WhatsApp. And Itlas also is for remote job applications. Okay, so at the moment this is a app based on 2.0 up. But we have another one, Itlan, which is Ether. So it's also some token being tokenized. Is involved. It is built using Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so we can see here from Gartner, this blockchain inspired solution will dominate enterprise implementation focus through the early 2020s. Okay, so this is already at this level, at this point. So it will have more applications. Yeah. So these solutions are generally of limited scope and rely on maintaining established process and architecture, such as centralized notary, distributed or replicated data stores, hashing, signing, and messaging layer. So what we are lacking here is the ability to tokenize multiple forms of digital and non-digital assets. So this will be solved. Yeah, they will consider at this point. Yeah. So they are expecting by 2020 more, 2030. Yeah. So there will be many more people will adopt this blockchain with more enhancing features. Okay, from Forrester's research, they have identified 4 questions for organization industry before consider a blockchain solution. So these are 4 questions: whether the multiple parties need to access the same data, is what data sharing, or right to the data store. So also whether the parties need assurance that the data is valid and hasn't been tampered. This is about immutability. And do you really on an intermediary, whether they want on a mediator? Okay, so this is about decentralized. And are there good reason not to have a centralized system? So these are the main question that should be asked by organization industry before they want to incorporate blockchain into their organization. Okay, so many said, yeah, in 2020 there will be more rapid adoption and potential industries like life sciences and healthcare, financial services, and farming and supply chain. Many will, these industries will adopt. Yeah, these are potential industries that will adopt the blockchain in 2020. Okay, next I will introduce about this blockchain-based self-sovereign identity. So this is another application which is quite recent also, talking about this self-sovereign identity. So this self-sovereign identity, the objective is to connect online identity system closer to the actual world and give users control over its identities. Okay, so this can be decentralized identity management from an identity viewpoint. So one of the credential here, like the birth of child identity credential, birth certificate, identity number, are those forms that were been given by the government authority. Okay, so such credentials are used many. I think in major of our life we will use this type of credentials. Yeah, we will have from birth certificate and our identity card. Like us, we have this. In Malaysia, we have birth certificate, identity card, the passport. All these are used as our to identify who we are. So all these still are not being digitalized. Still, we hold on hard copies. So what we want is more. Is if it is being digitalized, it can be on online, so it's easy for us. Like if you want to travel any between countries, so maybe we don't have to hold any hard copy passport. Okay, so this about the potential of blockchain technology in identity. So this one, this distributed ledger technology, that is blockchain, has it has a potential in identity applications like information storage and transfer mechanism between different archetypes. Okay. So we have all the, with blockchain, that is possible to have this identity, digital identity. Okay, the characteristic of this self-sovereign identity, first is about minimalistic. Discloses at least amount of data needed for a task, meaning that if you want to, if maybe we don't have to show everything about us, maybe if they want just a portion, just give what it is required. So that is minimalistic. That can be controlled, can be done because we control the data. And censorship and ID deletion. So resilient, meaning that it's not easy just to delete or to censor any of our ID, our identity. Persistent, of course, this our ID can't be taken away from a user. Okay. Portability, it is interoperability. And consent, of course, when anyone want to use our ID, they will get consent for us first. They cannot simply use our identity. And this also, we control our identity, and it is secure, privacy and confidentiality. So this is about self-sovereign identity. It is about us, which I think it is beneficial to us actually, so that people won't simply use your identity, to when we are cases happen where your identity is being used to apply loan and suddenly you have to pay the loan monthly without your knowledge. So how do they get this identity? So because it's not really secured, with current current practice. So this has been used in Dubai Airport. They have this smart tunnel. So it's nice if you can go here and go through this smart tunnel in their international airport without we don't have to show our passport, because here they use this biometrics. That means they get the recognition, face recognition, and also blockchain technology to bring gateless border to Dubai Airport. So what we'll get is speeding up the check-in, immigration, security, and boarding processes. So this is quite, advantageous, advantageous to us, the travelers. So we don't have, to wait at the immigration counter, to get all this clearance. So this another supply chain, okay, supply chain whereby under this UNIDO, they want to assess the value chain readiness, how are they ready to adopt blockchain technology. So this is done by this United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and with this Global Quality and Standard Project in Ghana, funded by Swiss State Secretariat of Economic Affairs. Okay, so what they do here, this blockchain is aimed to securely store and share information on transactions across a network of users, and can serve to improve proof of integrity along the value chain. So this is about the product, their cocoa product. Okay, so that when the consumer or the other end, the receiver gets the product from this farm, they will get the information in real time, accurate and complete interconnected data. Okay, with all these quality, safety, transportation, certification, and product ingredients from farm to end consumer. So this can only be done when it is transparent, and the transparent comes from the blockchain itself, and also some of the probably we can they introduce these sensors. Okay, IoT. That comes the IoT. When we talk about sensors, that's where IoT comes in. Because the IoT probably might give records on the temperature at every stops of this product before reaching to the consumer. So the consumer can see how are the what are the temperatures for this product, from the farm up till to their premise, or to the, when they receive. So at least they know that when the temperature is within the control, then they know it is in the product is still in quality, still good, and they still can. It's not. The product is still good and quality. Yeah. Okay, next about education. So nowadays, I think probably you have heard about these micro credentials. Okay, so it's being popular now. So we also in UTM, so we already started about these micro credentials, because we can see that the behavior of the people now, probably the millennials, might be they will come back to learning or to the education later in their life. Yeah, probably they already work, or this part time. The workers, they already work, but and also they also wanted to enhance their knowledge with the current, to update their knowledge with the current technology. So micro credentials can be offered. So these micro credentials are, like if a program, we have so many courses. So one of the course can be offered separately, or by itself. So that's what we call micro credential. It is done in micro, micro approach. Okay. So when the student have receive this achievement and be recognized about the specific skills, they will be awarded this digital badge. So normally we have this digital badge also being recognized by global. So once they have this digital badge, they can they have to keep this digital badge until they can find a university that can award with this entry requirement, with this entry, if the university can accept digital badges and can award degree, they can register to the university. Okay. Then this how to keep this to ensure that how this university want to ensure that these digital badges are are true. Okay, it's not something that is reliable. So this they can keep this all this information in blockchain based micro credential. So these are digital credential platform which embrace these technologies to improve this data verifiability, availability, and reliability for the evidence of learning. So actually, this micro credential for us, we understand that it can be offered by many organizations, maybe from the industries, and when they say that this particular student has already reached some learning outcomes with some specific skills, then they will be awarded the digital badge. So if this industry has been recognized in the system, so it's easier for the student to go to a university and have all these micro credential digital badges. Yeah, and to be so that they can register to that university and get their degree. Okay, so it is stackable actually. We call this stackable micro credential courses. Yeah, meaning that they can obtain this amount of all those courses from various institutions. Okay, so this one also is good for the employer also. They can quickly check the validity and authenticity of each certificate. Yeah. So this using this digital credential platform. So to earn a micro credential, the teachers are required to provide evidence such as like video classroom interaction or audio of a student reflecting on their learning for approval. Okay, so that's what inside the micro credential with the evidences being provided, so that the employer also can see the validity, can check the validity and authenticity of each certificate. Okay, so then barriers to blockchain adoption. So these are among the from the survey also, they say the among the barriers about the greater adoption in blockchain technology is about the replacing or adapting existing legacy systems. So 35% strongly agree on this. And also the next one is about potential security threats. Okay, and concerns over sensitivity of competitive information also is another concern, which is another issue which create the barriers for for blockchain technology adoption. And also this also another thing important, lack of regularity clarity. Okay, because some of the the acts or the government policy seems that doesn't allow blockchain technology to be implemented. Okay, and also the issues that need require attention regarding the technology is like scalability, because like Bitcoin, they have like only the transaction is like 7 transactions per second, which is too slow, and also is like energy hunger, too much energy being used to solve the mining process in the Bitcoin. Now they are going to to improve the scalability by having more than 1,000 of transactions per second, and also to have better smart contract design, blockless blockchain using directed acrylic graphics, such as IOTA blockchain. Okay, and also new consensus mechanisms. And the next one is interoperability. So we need more decentralized with cross-chain platforms. So we want a secure, reliable, consistent exchange of data between devices, applications, and platforms. Because what we have now is we have so many that the devices or system comes from different providers. So how to make them interoperability? So it seems that by blockchain it is possible. So with all these different providers. Okay, then adoption and familiarity. So to the users, you want to look it as though there is seamless experience in the front end, but although there is very vast different in the back end with the blockchain coding inside it. And also what we want is more human resources are needed to get familiarized with the development of this technology, because now it's still lacking, and also the exposure about this blockchain also is not, it's not that many, because still in the infancy stage. And again, about policy and regulation, the government's policy on data protection act needs some inclusion and some amendments or some improvement about the data sharing if blockchain to be adopted. So now I just want to share few of my researchers in UTM on the blockchain. So this is we got this grant, we call this transdisciplinary research grant, whereby this particular topic, secured and decentralized of smart healthcare. We have a multidiscipline team. Okay, we have from the data side, okay, the legal side with research on the data protection policy, and also from the business side is more on the ROI. So, and also ours is more on the technology. So I'm heading this program with project 1. It's about secure and scalable decentralized sharing of medical data using blockchain technology. And then the second is about restructuring, because we know that medical data, there are so many forms. Even we have the X-ray, all the scanners, MRI, all those things. So they have all different formats of medical images. And also decentralized sharing. So we hope we will have some apps, mobile apps with this decentralized features inside it, so that the medical data can be shared among the healthcare professionals, especially because we are lacking of these experts, medical experts in certain area. So they need to share the patient's data. So probably they have to share the patient data, not only the patient data about their health, to many other experts. So we hope with this decentralized nature, that is possible for the medical experts to share, to give opinion. Probably the medical expert is not in that particular area. It might be they may come from other countries or other states. So okay, so this is our project being we have got the grant. So we hope to complete by next year, inshallah. Then, so we have already published this paper actually. So it's our concern about the security just now. So this is my student doing that. So we already proposing this hash function based on new machine number transform to see whether it is as good as SHA. SHA is secure hashing algorithm 128256, because mainly in blockchain they are using this SHA-256. So we want to see how good it is compared to how good this machine number transform compared to SHA, and whether it can be used in the for the cryptography, for the hashing algorithm. Okay, this one is another one. It was already published in a journal in IEEE Access. Those articles are already available in IEEE Access, and these are Q1 journals. So it is on this scalability challenges in healthcare blockchain system. It's a systematic review. So we use this atlas.ti software to analyze to do the analysis on the relevant articles. Okay, so so from here we see we can categorize into the 16 solutions which fell under two main areas. Namely, for these scalability challenges, it's about storage optimization and redesign of blockchain. Okay, this is the solutions for the scalability challenges in healthcare blockchain system. Okay, the next one we are in progress is we do this collaborative research grant. So collaborative research grant will involve other universities, not only UTM. Betul, this UTM is the initiator. So it is a collaborative research grant, UTM International. Okay, it is considered as national grant. although UTM is the initiator, and we have few other universities to collaborate into this our project, which is known as a secure and autonomous quality fish supply chain traceability use system using integrated blockchain, IoT, AI. So we use this technology, we combine blockchain, IoT, and AI, so that we can have this secured autonomous quality fish supply chain. So it is, no, we can see fish is very important and is a main being consumed quite a lot by Malaysians. Okay, so what we want here is more transparency in traceability, which will increase the consumer trust in food safety and quality concerns. Okay, and fulfill food safety regulations, compliance, and improve information flow through the chain. So with blockchain, we can, it is transparent, so we can see all those information from the, probably from the jetty, we call jetty, from the fisherman port, first port, and then how it's been transferred to the next station. Then probably there are few stations that the product will be transferred before reaching to the consumers. So all this can be track and trace. Okay, so we hope with this blockchain integrated one will be the consumer can have more trust, from the supplier, so that they know that these fish are very good fish and safe, to eat. So these are about the challenges. This is our problem statement for this particular project. So first is about integration of IoT and blockchain for autonomous supply chain traceability. And then second, authentication and validation the fraudulent fish supply chain sensor node in blockchain infrastructure. Okay, and then this is about IoT, this is about AI, decision making to eliminate the distribution of unsafe or poor quality fish. And the next one is reliable network, because when we talk about this fishermen, they are, when they are in the sea, okay, the problem is more on the network and to get this good connectivity. So we also have some study on this. What is the best connectivity for the fishermen, so that they can use this system, whether it is any system that needs internet access. Okay, these are the projects. So the project one is I'm heading it, is about integration of blockchain IoT for autonomous quality fish supply chain traceability. Project 2 is headed by our friend in University Technology Malaysia, UTM. Okay, so this is about formulating blockchain-based node authentication algorithm for IoT sensor in fish supply chain, and this is by our friend in the North Malaysia University, UNIMED. Yeah. Okay, then our project 4, okay, by Unit 10, University dan Tenaga Nasional. So we have 4 universities collaborated on the same program. Okay, so this is another research. So I'm doing the with my PhD student. It's blockchain-based self-sovereign identity framework for land registry, because there are problems about land registration in the land department. So there we come with this idea. Okay, so this is another research also being done by my PhD student, blockchain-based interoperable electronic health record framework. Okay, and this is the latest one. So this will just get the fund, and we are, for this particular project, revolutionize property management using blockchain technology for strata residential property in post-COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, I think that's all that from me, and that's about our research, what we are doing on blockchain in UTM. So with that, thank you very much for listening, and give back to our chairperson. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ibu, for the very great insight. Honorable participants, Prof. Salwani already discussed or pinpoints, I guess, a different view regarding her specific topic on blockchain. And it is also, I guess, in line with what the first keynote speaker focusing on. And Prof. Salwani, firstly, she began her explanation by quotation, and I think this is very interesting, from Antonio Senator. Sorry, if my pronunciation is not really good. 2020 is the decade of blockchain. Now, it is now. And just to me, myself, I just realized, oh, really? And the next point that I would like to highlight is that on the emergent application. Honorable participants, now we are, whether we like it or not, whether we are ready or not, but Web 3.0 or decentralized web is in now. It is currently happening, you know, blockchain technology. And everybody, of course, should be ready, especially for education, you know, education technology, or perhaps other ones. And Prof. Salwani focusing on, let's say, not only the financial or digital asset management, as well as multi-industry. This is again very interesting. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, honorable participants, I guess now it's 11:05, and I think the time for us, or the time to listen to the participants to propose some questions. And I already noted that for the time being, we have 2 questions. And the first one is proposed by, sorry, Professor Fukuda, you are with us, aren't you? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. 2 questions proposed. The first one is from Bandung, from Bapak Robertus Triweko, from Parahyangan Catholic University, Bandung. And he is asking, how is, let's say, the collaboration between universities and industries in terms of education, research, and technology advancement. And he specifically focusing on, let's say, the best practice happening or occurring in Japan. That is the first question. And the second question is from Ibu Retna Hidayah, asking about the public, government, and private universities. And in this case, I already also noticed that you answered the questions.
Yeah. Okay, I answer, but maybe I can explain a little bit more.
All right. So she is asking a study program or department offered in universities, and also a number of students accepted, how many will be, for example. And then I think the last one, this is very interesting also, that is link and match. The terminology or the terms, like this morning we have also listen to our Excellency Bapak Wikan regarding link and match. Is that, or does it become university and industry concern? So you got 4 questions. And for Ibu Salwani later on, I guess you already, you are doing various research on blockchain, and it seems more like, to my understanding, for PhD students. So what do you think will be challenges mostly, for example, in general, in terms of our bachelor and also our master, or perhaps if we make it, I cannot say simple, I guess, for primary, secondary education. All right. Professor Fukuda,
Yes.
time's yours, please. Thank
Yes.
you.
So can I answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah. For the first question about the relationship, a collaboration between university and the industry. As I already introduced, JABI system. So under the JABI system, of course, it's not compulsory, but the JABI evaluation team evaluate each program that they have a faculty member who had experience as an engineer in the industry. So who had a professional engineering status or have experience to work at the private firm or even government office. So those are one of the threshold to evaluate the university. So we try to recruit the faculty members, not from just the graduate university, but also from the industry. And also we have many visiting faculty members. So basically, fundamental classes taken care of by the professors in the university, but sometimes related to the industry, I mean the subject related to industry, we invite outside people to have a lecture for the students. And not only in the case of us, and not only like construction, but some people like management who involved management of air carrier or railway company or highway company or logistic company. So we invite them. This is very important for the student to know the situation, know actual field. Then also, and another thing that we have internship program. So most of the, I think, educational program now have the internship. So let the student to join the private firm shortly and learn to them. So anyway, of course, we have to carefully look at the demand by the industry because we have to send them to the industry. So we have to know what they would like to do. So we basically listen carefully to what the industry said, then try to bring to our education. That is a common sense in Japan now. And one more thing that I asked the director about the PBL. So many programs now try to introduce PBM. That's the reason why I'm very interested in that the situation in Indonesia. Because the student have to adapt the situation. They have to consider the problem by themselves and set up the target by themselves, and they have to find out the solution by themselves. So those education are very important and the industry needed. So we are looking for the way how to bring the PBL in the classroom. And of course, in the case, in the research field, we have many consultancy or many joint projects with private firms. And sometimes those researchers bring to the classroom as a material to teach the students. Is it okay for the first question? Is it the answer for the first question? Is it okay, right?
Yes, I think so. You
okay,
already, yeah.
And the second question about we have government university, private university, and the public university. And I think most of the all the private university founded more than 100 years ago. And most of them established by the former minister of law, former minister of something. So I think in the case of Nihon University, also first minister of the law established. is Baron Akiyoshi established our university. Of course, he had some kind of the mission by himself. He would like to educate the people. Most of those, the politicians on that time visit abroad, especially Western country, and they realize that education is how important. So of course, government itself set up the university, but established a university, but many of distinguished people think that have to provide higher education to make the nation grow. So, and that is a way. But recently, our government already not privatized, but cut out from the government university from the under the control of the government. So it's almost look like a private university, and the private university has some kind of subsidized from the central government. So I feel we have not much different. Maybe we have a different on our burden. Professor in the university like me have to take care of more students and more courses compared with professors in the government university. But maybe salary pretty okay compared with the professor in the government or public university.
Yeah.
There are only few public universities in Japan, not much. So anyway, but we don't feel much differences because the professor sometimes move from private to public or government to private. So I think we don't feel much different. And anyway, any type of university accept like a JABI in the case of engineering field now. So we also demonstrate about our educational system in equally. So I feel not much different. For the second question, is okay?
Yep. About the various universities, let's say in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's it. Yeah. Later on.
Yes.
Later on, we have still a question.
Okay. I will be here. Yes.
All right. Thank you. And Professor Sarwani, can you please give your view on, let's say, the challenges in education system, especially for blockchain, for example, secondary, because again, in my understanding, research more for PhD students, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Yuyun. So with regards to the curriculum, so like us, what we experience now, we are redesigning our curriculum because we want to make sure that the coming curriculum or the future curriculum will include the IR 4.0 elements. That's why, like us, for the master, also we redesign it by including the IoT and also the blockchain. So for those undergrads, this blockchain is part of cyber security. So I'm sure for the like computer science or other courses or other programs, might be they can include about cyber security. So when you talk about cyber security, inside it will be like cryptography. At least they learn about basic cryptography, because in blockchain we have this, we will use like hashing. So hashing is is included in the cryptography. So at least if we introduce those subjects in the undergrad, so that will be easier for them when they go, when they pursue their studies to masters and above. And also I think all these will need some programming or skills, because when you can't avoid to not to do coding. Okay, that's important. That's why I think for like Malaysia also in the schools, they already introduced like coding for the starting from the primary. So they have been introduced like something like the Scratch, based on Python based programming. from the primary, secondary, so that it's easier for those students to have this programming mindset. When they want to develop any system, the thing is about programming. So it is very important. So I think at least the basic subject for this blockchain is about like cybersecurity and also database. Also they know because this blockchain is about database, secure database. So these are among the subjects I think they can be introduced in the undergrads. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Dear participants, we have let's say the second term of Q&A, and I got two questions, one for Professor Fukuda and one for Professor Sarwani. The first one is that for Ibu Sarwani, I think you already mentioned it a little bit about the security issue. And the question is from Bapak Nur Hamid asking, what about security issue when we implement a system using blockchain technology? And when I notice you have also the term of decentralized system for the blockchain, I think that is also my question. And then the second one for Professor Fukuda. So this is also interesting question. In your comments or in your response just now, you are saying, please listen to the industry. All right, listen to the industry. And then the question is from Bapak, pardon? Oh, Professor Hairudin, sorry. The question is that how do best practices in Japan, in particular the instrument of JABE, measuring and ensuring the output of engineering education? This is also, I think, interesting to listen to. So we are listening to what JABE best practice, and later on, I guess you are also a companion of YABE, of Indonesian accreditation later on. Okay, thank you. Well, Ibu, would you like to begin, please? Thank you.
So these are about security issues about when blockchain is implemented. Yes, I agree. Possible they say if blockchain is there will be more new attacks. So it is something not new. So that's why we keep on doing all those possible attacks that might happen. And for the current for the current blockchain, mainly they already use this algorithm, the hashing algorithm, to encrypt the data, and also for the authentication part, so they have another digital signature to at least verify the identity of the node. Okay, so I think these security issues won't stop even you have blockchain, because there will be more and more brilliant attackers will exist, and we also must keep on doing our research and keep on find what are the ways to make sure that it is less risk to these attacks. So I think that's why it's always ongoing about these security issues. Okay, I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Ibu.
Okay, can I?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Actually, in the case of JABE, try to not to tell which is the best practice as much as possible, because JABE itself to check the existence of the system, educational system. So we never evaluate their activity itself. So we just evaluate how they prove and how they improve their education system. And each program have own way. We never force to any program to any way to do. So we cannot say which is a better practice. Of course, the many program always asking us, why don't you tell which is the best practice? Please introduce. But we very afraid that once we said this is the best practice, every program just a copy. Yeah, we don't like it to do that. So we try to stop to tell which is the best practice. Of course, sometimes each academic society, for example, in the case of JSCE, they have like a training course or some seminar for the program which would like to apply to accreditation system. And on that seminar, we just asked several programs to introduce their own activities only, but we never say which is better. So I think there are many ways to do that. So I'm very sorry, but I cannot say that which is better. I know there are many good cases, but we cannot say which is the best case. Is it okay? So Yabi also understand, Yabi people, and I think understand, right? I don't know who, Berurian now joined. I think maybe he knows. He learned, yes.
All right. Okay. The issue regarding copy paste matter, you know, it matters still up to now, I guess, not only in terms of education system or what you already explained to us about accreditation, but also like, you know, everything now is there. Everything I can say it's in the internet. So it is on the tip of your finger. It's very, it's very
actually,
easy.
Yeah, in Japan, before we establish the JABI, as I told you, academic society send many members to the ABET visit. I also joined several evaluation visits at the totally different. In my case, I visited Stanford and the University of Kansas. So I really surprised the way to evaluate quite different. So and everybody discuss about this, and we gradually understand what is accreditation system, and stop to tell anything about the best practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. This is again interesting. Yeah, still, I think in the era of let's say people, some say it's already 5.0. It is not again 4.0, but the term of 4Cs or creativity, and then critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration and communication. I think the first point on the creativity, how we teach our next generation again to be creative rather than copy paste generation. Yeah. Well, yeah. Would you like to respond on this one, Ibu, please? Copy paste generation. What do you think of this? Sorry.
Copy paste. What you mean? They just follow what is being instructed.
Yeah.
I think now I think you can see the new generation. They are no more like that. I think they have more like being exposed because they get all the information through the social media, and also I think they are more open, and also even if you say about understanding about a country, about the government, also they have more like different type of thinking, and probably they have more like freedom. They want more freedom. Okay, so I think like, if allow them to explore and give them something, give them the right tools, they can develop something better. Even though there are of course there are those we think, because like what happened now, so like our graduates, even though they graduated from like engineering degree, they might end up as doing online business, and they are richer than more than us, more than lecturers, because they can earn more because doing this, doing this online business, there is something interesting, and of course they get with all those platform, the digital marketing methods. So I think they are more I mean they are more ready, okay, more ready to face the challenges, and we hope also we can educate the, like the just now Prof Fukuda said about the 65% are still in the primary, and when they go up, might be they don't know what they're going to be. Yeah, probably like I say, it will, I always always give talk to the parents. Probably your children will end up as a chef, but it is IR 4.0 chef, because they are using technology for fine dining. They are maybe they use this 3D printer, food printer. They will create something very personalized type of food for their customer. So probably at that time, probably the people also will have that sort of behavior. They want something personal to them. Something food also must be decorated, really personalized. So there must be, like I say, it's nothing wrong if they become chef, but it's a IR 4.0 chef. The same also I say if they want to be like fishermen, because now we also, when we involved in this fishermen, fishing about this fish supply chain, we know that the among the fishermen they are among those with very low income group. They earn very low. So, but I know with some of the fishermen in overseas, they are very rich fishermen, because they don't afraid to use technology. Like those people afraid to use technology, maybe they are losing, because they can get small fish, not the big fish, whereby they can sell better. So that's why I say if they want to become fishermen, it's okay, but we want IR 4.0 fishermen. So that sort of thinking. Even tailor also, I say, you be a IR 4.0 tailor, whereby you use technology to get the measurement of your consumer, and then you use some machine simulation to use all the fashion type. Maybe the customer like that fashion and suitable, they can see first. You simulate, you can see what's happened when you wear this type of costume. So that sort of idea, I think that's what we can give all this. Probably what is going to happen in future. Okay. So they can be anything, and probably they are enterpriser, and when they are entrepreneurs.
Okay, that's interesting. Well,
Do you have a remote class?
What
remote?
is it?
Do you have a class in remote?
Yeah.
Now, right? So
Yeah.
I feel I find it that because the student we use the computer and provided the class by remote, right? Then, but some student ask, can I send by the smartphone? I have never used the computer. I cannot send the smartphone. I cannot see your video by smartphone. So time change very fast.
Yeah, it does. Time changes. Well, my dear Professor Fukuda, I guess you still have one question to answer from Professor Khair about, let's say, okay, how we make sure ourselves that the graduates, they are in line with, or they are answering the industry needs, for example, because in Indonesia, the population is, I can say, hips comparing to, let's say, population in Japan. And for Ibu Salwani, you also have one question from, I guess Bapak ya, Bapak Bruri Triyono, asking that, do you have any experience when to teach the students about, let's say, blockchain? Because you already mentioned that we can implement blockchain in any level of schools. So when it is bachelor, which level do you think is more ready, in quotation? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, I don't have that. I'm in the transport, right? So, of course, our future field is like ITS, Intelligent Transportation System. So students need the information technology now. And so some of the students deal with like image processing using the AI or deep learning. So even we are the engineering students and especially close to the construction, but many now try to study like AI, deep learning or something like this. So I'm quite not sure that that will help the student 10 years later or not. But there is some demand like this. If I said to the industry people, my student can do the image processing, maybe they excite. If I said that my student understand AI, so maybe they excite right now. So, and that's the reason why I said interdisciplinarity. So very difficult to draw the line between the fields now. So students should understand a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that is one of the difficulty to develop the educational program now. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ibu, please.
Okay. So if you want to introduce blockchain to the undergrads, I know there are some open source that the student can start experience develop this blockchain platform using the like Hyperledger. They offer open source, so it's free. So we can start because it's involves some programming. So I think it's something which has new experience. So I think not easy, not difficult to learn. So I think but I think the basic thing is about they have the knowledge about the cryptography, all those things, and also of course they need some theory about the blockchain. Give simple thing, and then I think they can solve a simple problem. At least they can see how the data being moved inside the blockchain.
All right. So in other words, it can be implemented for any level of students, I mean semesters, whether it is at the beginning, for example, in the middle.
No, I think it's better at the final when they do projects like that. It's better
Okay.
because if they have some already, I mean, a good background knowledge on the like security, for example. But we they already learn a lot on the coding also, programming skills, all those things. So they need all these skills.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu. And let me summarize. Oh, this is really great. This is really, to me, wonderful time, yeah, to accompany the best two keynote speakers for our virtual conference. I note 3 points, more or less. The first one is that link and match. And Professor Fukuda already says that listen to the industry, what they need, what is happening there. And then the second one, of course, we need to prepare our education system, or we need to prepare our students to face what Professor Salwani mentioned. They should be ready in our emergent application with the web 3.0 decentralized web. So we need to review our curriculum. So which one goes to the best, of course, for our students, for our next generation. Well, thank you very much again for your great insights, Professor Fukuda and Professor Salwani. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
my all dear participants, my apology for any inconveniences occur. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. Over to you, Ibu Nuni. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the plenary sessions, and we would really like to express our gratitude to both speakers, Professor Asusi Fukuda, and also Professional Technologist, Dr. Salwani Muhammad Daud. Thank you for your inspiring and insightful presentations. Heaps of thanks also go to Ibu Yuzun Julia, PhD, for her contributions to the success of the plenary sessions. And as an expression of appreciations, allow us to spotlight the e-certificate for the invited speakers. Professor Fukuda from Nihon University, Professor Salwani from University Technology Malaysia.
Thank you.
And also Ibu Yuyun Yulia, PhD, as the moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 1 hour, we are going to have a break. But you are kindly requested to stay, as the committee will assign you to the breakout rooms. So once again, please don't leave the Zoom. So during the break session, once again, would you please stay in the Zoom? Please be also well announced that all technical things about your presentations will be informed later in the parallel sessions. And the parallel closing, the conference closing, is conducted in each parallel room. The participants and presenters of the ICTVD will be in this room for the parallel sessions, and the other presenters and participants of the other 3 conferences will be assigned to other rooms. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please don't leave the meeting. Thank you very much and have a fruitful discussion in your parallel session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all. Terima kasih.
Signal photo session, sir, please.